Just mean ASMR.
It's been
Dude, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty good.
I want you to execute on this.
Do a mean ASMR channel. Yeah.
Did ASMR catch any of you totally out of the fucking blue?
Yeah.
Does that work for any of you? Like, I heard this is like some like cognitive thing that some people just really react to this better than others. But I've never met anyone who actually cognitively reacts well to this. Like I've never met someone who's like, yeah, ASMR is my thing.
ASMR.
I don't know what ASMR is.
It's like when like chicks on YouTube will like whisper at you and shit.
It's
No,
like
filthy.
it's like
I won't fall for it.
it's not
like jack off instructions.
So no, it's supposedly it's noise related stuff. It's audio related stuff, and it's often texture or sound related stuff. So it might be like running grains of rice through your hands.
Oh,
or,
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a whole if you fucking be on Twitch right now, there's a whole subsection of I think it's probably live chat or something like this or whatever. But
Just talking.
for ASMR, there's a shit ton of YouTube stuff up there. It's extremely popular. Supposedly there's some cognitive element to it, but I've never met anyone who actually says this shit does it for me.
This
And
is
for me,
why
it's
I'm
the
glad
creepiest
about the
fucking
coronavirus.
shit ever. You think coronavirus and ASMR probably hits the same population?
I think
I'm hoping that it solely hits that part of the population. You know, that thing's kind of wild. Like, I don't know if you've been watching any of the videos out of China. Like we watched the other day, the video of them spraying the
I got another
Saw
good
that.
spraying
That
that
works?
stuff on the streets to like,
No.
well, it kills anything it touches. Yeah, absolutely it does. Like
Yeah, if you get the
if there's
human
virus on
carriers of that virus, you're probably good.
no. Well, see, the issue
Oh,
is that this
I guess I'm
virus
getting it wrong.
can live outside of a human host for 3 days.
Can it really?
There's
Yeah,
another thing
which is
about
a
it.
very unusual thing.
Another unusual thing that caught my attention was you can be a host for 14 days, a contagious host, before you show symptoms. That's
See,
just
that's
a
really
long
good for a
time.
virus, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Because
or
the ones
really
that are too
bad.
virulent that kill you too quickly, then it can't spread fast enough.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a good virus, folks.
My wife is worried about this shit. She's looking this up nightly.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this, like how much we were actually worried about it, because I think last week,
what did we bet?
PKA,
Well, let's do it 2 things, right? One, before the conversation, let's take a fucking like where our concern at. Then let's have the conversation. Let's do it again.
so my concern is at a 2.
Out of 10,
Yeah, my biggest concern is I ordered a sex toy from China about a month and a half, 2 months ago. I don't know if you've ever done this, anyone. 4 months later, you get a butt plug that you're never going to use. You know, like it's
it's
shoddy
from China.
craftsmanship. Yeah. But that thing's coming. It's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mildly worried about that. If it weren't for that butt plug, I'd be at a 1. out
Just
of
test
10
it in
right
a
now.
girl's ass first.
Well, I
And then wait 2 weeks.
it's a good insult.
it's mine. I'm not a sharing anyway. I'm not concerned about myself at all, and because here's why. I think I can fight it off. All right, I believe in myself. I
Like, what do you
haven't
need?
ejaculated in almost 90 days. That's going to give me the power required
You're gonna
to
make
fight
it come
off
at it from the
virtually
top
any
as you
virus.
levitate over it.
Absolutely, my body will repel any viral contagion that might even try to get in here.
Absolutely.
The
Not
quality
happening.
of my skin will prevent the virus from entering me.
I'm impervious. Essentially.
I haven't
Those
entered
pastors
anyone.
with snakes.
The virus can't enter me.
Yep.
I'm just not. I'm
There's a
I'm not
scratch
worried
on
about
your
it
arm.
at all for my own safety. However, I do think it's going to kill a lot of people. And I think last week my guess was I was like, I bet it kills 500 more between now and next Thursday, and I think it did.
I think it did more than that. What's it at right
It's
now?
some
Do we
big
know?
number.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And isn't this all still going off of like Chinese
What he's like,
info?
there's no way to know.
Yeah, fuck you all. I don't know how much it is, and I'm not gonna.
He's like, you can go fuck yourself and Google that.
Yeah. What are the benefits of meditation? I don't know.
Like, what do you think they're doing in Paris, France? I don't know. Ain't no way to know, is it?
All right, it says as of 9 hours ago, it says China officials fired as coronavirus deaths surged past 1,300.
Oh, I've seen this bitch rubbing her fucking microphone with her titties out. Yeah, I saw that. That's retarded.
You know what a good ASMR was? I don't know if this counts as ASMR, but it was watching that guy in Australia who just wears shorts and then like bangs rocks together and builds huts and never talks. If that's
Yeah,
ASMR, then that's pretty. But that's more
I
interesting.
don't know if that's
because you're
ASMR.
watching
He's
the
building a
hut.
fucking hub. That's a hut
Yeah.
rather than something entirely different. I think.
Yeah, because if he was just making those noises, I'd be like,
I
"This
mean,
is."
I don't fucking
this
know.
is
'Cause I don't
terrible
understand
content.
it. Like every time I see it, like the first time I saw it, I like about fell out of my chair. I'm like, what is this? And how the fuck are there so many people watching it? So,
Yeah, this video.
anyways, I don't mean I don't want to derail. I just was trying to find.
I
you.
hate
Oh, yeah.
I hate that thing that's play. I hate what that is. I wish one of those microphones would explode into shrapnel right next to your fucking face.
Every time I
Yeah.
fuck
So,
up my
alright,
audio,
Kyle,
the
so you're
Twitch
at a
stream
2.
says it's ASMR. They're just
Yeah,
like,
I'm
at a
keep
2. I'm
breathing,
at a 2.
Woody. Me?
Uh,
Good.
Oh, I'll say. How worried am I personally?
I wanted
Yes.
Woody next.
Oh, Woody, go for it.
Oh, I don't know how to measure it, right? If I say I think that
Numeric.
5,000 Americans will die and I won't know one of them, what's my scale on that? Does that make me an
Well,
8, a 10?
personally for you. I don't
Right?
know. What's your scale if 5,000 Americans die?
It's almost 2 9/11s. No, that's yeah.
That's a never forget kind of scenario, is what it is.
I'm going to
It's a
say that starts turning around in 3 weeks. It puts me at a 4.
4. Okay.
I'm gonna say 3, right in the middle,
Okay.
because I don't think it's gonna get that real here. Maybe, and it also seems to be just targeting the elderly and the infirm for the most part, and the young, and so like all of us are probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I feel like a lot. of
I'm
young
somewhere at
people-
a 0 or 1.
You see
Really?
them welding people into their houses?
Well, but here's why, right? Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but like, okay, a couple things first, right? Like, forget about this is the separate how worried we are. That's what you asked, right? Not like how like negative do we think this is? Like, surely people dying sucks ass, right? And we prefer not to have that happen. We can ignore that element of it. Kyle, like,
Yeah.
sorry, Kyle, I don't mean to put words in your mouth. You can clarify that later.
No,
But
I
I
was just
just don't-
mouthing horrible insults to Taylor.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fine.
that's all part of the course. Yeah,
That's the gateway to ASMR.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you go fuck yourself, you loser. Yeah, that's what I listen to as I go to
yourself.
bed. You're fat. And you know you're fat.
To avoid midnight snacking, I need that. Please put that tape together.
Yeah, please.
A handful of cashews. Oink, oink, oink.
What are the
fucking
dreams you would
helpful.
have?
Yeah, the dreams you'd have of just like a bag of pork rinds attacking me or something. Yeah, I don't know.
That or you would just wake up sleepwalking with a handful of cashews. Like, what? What the fuck? Not again. How did I get a 7-Eleven?
That's hilarious. Is you know how when fat people will be like, I'm not fat, it's glandular. It's somebody who says that, but their glandular disorder has to do with sleepwalking and they don't even know that they're overeating. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah.
That's actually fucked. If,
Yeah.
if that's somebody's problem,
Just
like,
eating
like
slices of American cheese by themselves
Oh,
with an eyes
yeah,
closed at
alternate
3
you're
a.m.
like, you know, I didn't eat for
Kyle
2 days.
does
I
not
took
give
the
a
biggest shit ever this morning. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
All that
That's
semen
funny.
building up.
Spit
it out.
That's the weight gain.
Where it goes.
Yeah, it's all-
Just a belly
in my
full of
balls.
gum waiting to unload like I tipped a bucket over.
So, anyway, Filthy, were you gonna like drop some knowledge on the
No,
coronavirus?
no fucking knowledge. I just want to like conceptually kind of work through some of these thoughts, right? Which is okay. First of us, do any of us believe the Chinese numbers at all?
No,
I think they're higher than whatever what the Chinese
Yeah,
are saying.
whatever they're saying is designed to put the best presentation on how China deals with an epidemic, and therefore I would just multiply it by some
Yeah.
I don't know what the factor would be, 5.
PR. Yeah, I would say about 5. Yeah,
It seems good.
Okay.
if not higher, they would be.
I bet there are children starving to death inside their homes because their houses got welded shut and their parents are in the hospital. Nobody knows it.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
What's the
Yeah.
You said 1,300 infected? No,
No,
dead.
1,300 dead.
Yeah, was the
Dead.
infected number in there too?
Tens of thousands.
It's a lot, and the issue is like the incubation, right? Like as we were talking about, right? It's
Yeah, like
such a
there's no
long
way of
incubation.
knowing. Like I'm sure there's an equation. Like somewhere between 60 and 600,000.
Yeah,
It says 60,000, but then it also says that this province had 14,840 people confirmed in the last 24 hours from midnight to midnight on Wednesday.
60,000 and about a fourth of them were last night.
And this is in this. This isn't total. I believe this is just in this Hubei.
Oh my
profit.
fucking god! This clip that Taylor linked, I have not seen this. What is this
Yeah.
real?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this clip. If it's
Let's
not real,
queue
then-
up on this because this is
All right.
out fucking rageous.
Just the picture, the still picture is
Yeah.
amazing. Are we ready?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
let's
I'm
hear it.
sorry, I'm the slowest.
Oh, go for it.
All right, ready,
That was fun, Woody.
set, play. Jesus Christ!
People are sitting in class.
Don't worry, it's just toxins.
This is just a pure air.
That's not real, right?
You're out.
Is that
No, did
fucking real
you
again?
see the clips of them doing this in the street, Filthy?
Yes.
Like literal
Yeah.
whole. Yeah.
It was like all red clouds. It looked like someone getting mustard gas
I
or
think
something.
it's true. Everyone
Pretty much.
accepts it as true, but I was initially skeptical. I'm like, could this just be fumigation? Like where my parents live in Florida, an
You
almost
don't
similar
fumigate
thing.
when you're in there, though.
A similar thing happens. Like I've been there. They have cars that drive by and they blow big clouds of anti-mosquito smoke down the streets. This is
Yeah.
okay. So I was just like, I wonder if they're like taking footage like that and pretending it's corona related.
No, this is happening right now, and they're saying that this is to like kill the virus. Like the government's admitting that that's
Oh,
what the
okay.
case is. And I don't think there's a lot of mosquitoes in that classroom. like that. That's definitely
For all I
out of
knew,
the
that was a
ordinary.
prank. I don't know. Like I don't know why my
no way. No
okay,
way.
yeah, I don't know why my like conspiracy alert is off the charts or what to be gained from this. You know,
I can't fact check. How do I know if anything's real?
not touching it, not doing it.
Am I real?
I'm not even
Am I
tempted.
real?
This
Yeah.
is like low stress
you
for
gotta
me.
hit that
It's
in your
nice.
fucking ASMR. Are you even a real man? Do you even exist? Do you know you exist? Have
We
you
need to start
checked it?
upping the ante with ridiculous statements.
You kicked off with them.
So
I was
saying at
like,
the beginning of the show.
Kyle's watching these videos pretending he thinks they're real. I'm like, this is obviously trolling. I'm not like, she's
No.
right.
I thought it was real. the first one.
Yeah. I refuse to accept that it isn't real because it makes me laugh so hard.
Okay.
That's
I
the
don't
way
know.
to go through life. Yeah,
guess, you know, like, I
Whoever's
think-
a
I
knee
think-
slapper.
I think a fucking like really virulent plague is going to be is a real fucking problem. But I'm not sure this is the one, right? Isn't this pretty low fatality rate in terms of healthy individuals contracting it? Like I know it gets like it's very contagious, but aren't most people recovering? Do we know those rates of recovery versus
I
death?
saw them early on and it was like 99% recovery. But then I saw that like SARS, for example, was 90, right? 10% death. And I'm like, oh, I don't even know what's better. Because at least the host dies off. And to have one where the host spreads it for 14 days before they even know they have it is a better way of spreading the disease. Like if you wanted to maximize kills and you were creating a virus, which one would you pick? One that kills the
Well, you
host
pick-
and shows symptoms
You-
right away?
You pick one that's slow incubation but high fatality.
Sure. But
Yeah,
let's
have
say
you
you
guys ever
can't
tried
have that.
plague?
Let's say you're choosing among these two. Which one's more effective at getting kills?
Well, what do you want to kill? Do you want to kill the able-bodied people of whatever target is, or do you want to kill the elderly, weak immune system, young?
Good point. I see where you're going with that. But let's just say
Yes.
your number is to rack up number. Your goal is to rack up numbers. Right?
That's doesn't that become just a simple equation then?
It's
There's
the
no way to
simplest
know.
equation. You don't even need to.
No, but in the sense of like, okay, well, if your
A
target is
squared
just
plus b squared.
yes, exactly that. No, the point being that like, okay, if you're like, well, it kills 1% of people and there's 1% of the population, you know, X% of the population is elderly and X% of the population is children. That's a number, right? If you say like, well, it kills everyone under 5 and over 80 or whatever the fuck it happens to be, right? Versus the number is it kills 1. If it kills 5%, at some point there's going to be at some number those two numbers are equal, and at some number they're different, right?
I feel like
There's
you
a-
added things in there that didn't need to be there.
There's a
One
little,
kills
1%,
1%, one kills 10. And then what's hard to add, to drop into an
Well, no, you
equation
said
is
what would you choose? You would asking me, would you choose between killing the lower, like basically essentially weak immune systems, or killing just a percentage of people?
no. I said, would you kill 10% with a disease that doesn't spread as easily, or 1% with a disease that spreads very easily?
But okay, two things: A, that's
1%.
kind of a repetition, and B, the 1% of okay, you're 10% of people or 1%. I don't know how to say this because I just feel like I just said this twice. I feel like I'm repeating again. So what we're talking about right now for this virus, right? This virus is a relatively low kill percentage, but fairly infectious, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so far seems to be.
So it's weighted towards killing people with low immune systems.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how most diseases are, right? Pretty much all of them.
I don't disagree, but he was saying if you design one, what would you want to design it for?
Okay, what I was doing is I was comparing
like,
SARS to coronavirus. SARS killed 10%, but it couldn't spread as widely because its people died and you knew they had it quickly. This one kills 1%, but it spreads really easily, far and wide, because people don't even know they have it and they're passing it around.
And that changes some things. Like if you ask me how scared of SARS would I be compared to this one, I would be more scared of SARS than I would be of the other one because SARS is more likely to kill me if I contracted it.
That's not the question.
This one is,
the question is which one will cause more damage?
Right. And what I responded with is I bet you there's a fairly simple calculation for that. If you understand what this kills versus what it doesn't, you can predict that number. You have all the components that you need to predict that number. So you could say it's not a question. It's not a preference anymore. It's an equation. At what point does
I don't want to talk about math. I don't care. It's not talking about math.
Let's talk about
what I'm saying is that if you've ever played Plague before on your phone, is that if you want to kill the most people as possible. Have you guys ever played Plague? Ever? It's like one of the few.
I played Total War Warhammer. Is it anything like
that?
It's
absolutely, no, it's nothing like that. What it's actually like is you can download Plague on your phone. It's a great airport game. And you have to start.
You should only play it in airports.
Well, it's just because it's boring at airports. You need something to do when you finished your $10 Bud Light. And what you do is you pick a type of disease, bacteria, virus, fungus, whatnot, and you have to pick a country to start it. I mean, you have to pay to upgrade or win on hard mode. And so I've only made it a couple tiers up. And so bacteria is the easiest one, bacteria and virus. And so like a virus with this one, what you want to do is you start it somewhere really shitty, like India or Egypt or somewhere with a bunch of ports,
Midwest.
a bunch of plains. Yeah, well, that wouldn't work because a country like France, the US, Sweden, you started there, they're going to catch on and shut it down too quick. You got to go somewhere like, I found a lot of luck with Egypt because it's connected to both continents and it's got a nice port. And you start out just upgrading all of the ways to spread it: sneezing, coughing, fucking rashes that like kind of pop up and you touch something and then somebody else gets it. And only when there's a couple billion people infected, then you amp up stuff like brain hemorrhaging. But you can't let people die faster than it can translate or transmute to other people. I made that mistake a lot where it's like, fuck yeah, I've got 5 billion people in the world infected with my super deadly disease, but then I'm killing them way too fast. And the most difficult thing and the most realistic thing I learned about from this game is that it is fucking really difficult to get Iceland sick. Really difficult. They almost always shut down their fucking ports before it's even spread into Central Asia. We're off into the weeds now. But see, what we're not talking about? Math.
I think that was the second tier of Woody's question. First tier was which would you choose, and the second one, how would you get Iceland with it?
Yeah, you don't want to start.
I saw that Iceland. I hadn't predicted that, but that makes total sense.
Icelandic people. They're too tough. They're on automatic semen retention. They just get rid of it. But yeah, according to this little chart thing, it's it's plenty of deaths and it seems to be ramping up. But yeah, this is nothing to worry about if you're an American or live in the West.
Well, there's been a number of cases here. Do we have confirmed deaths in America yet?
No, I think that'd be quite we do, Woody?
There's no way to know.
There's no way to know.
What do you mean?
And I'm not Googling it. Yes.
Oh, I see. I see. You mean there's no way for you to know.
Right.
A brand new
because
rule.
your viewership has told you that you're not allowed to fucking fact check anything ever again.
No,
yeah, but I think that there are
outside of
US
your room,
deaths.
pretty much everything is just a question mark.
Yeah. It's Schrodinger's outside of the room.
Okay.
Whether it exists or not, up in the air. Like that cat. So, yeah. I like the way we're going with no fact checking. I think we should make it so none of us are allowed to fact check ever.
Triple down. I like
Yeah,
it.
tripling down.
During the rest of the week,
only the
too,
guest
though.
is ever allowed to fact check.
Yeah. During the rest of the week as well, though, not just during the actual PK episodes. You're not allowed to come into contact with facts.
Boom! I don't have to change anything about my life. So I
my
saw
wife is terrified of this, and I don't know why. Like, it feels like it doesn't hit healthy individuals. Like, what is the fear?
It spreads well.
Yeah, that's the fear, and the media hyping it up bigger than it is.
Okay, but do we?
Yeah, I don't know.
And here I'm asking for a fact check, so probably Woody can't be part of this. But how does it spread comparatively to like a common cold? More or less contagious?
It seems more contagious.
But that's
because of the fact that it can live outside the
right?
host on like a lamppost for 3 days.
It's
That's a
over
very
4
rare
times as transmittable as the
4
common
times
cold.
transmissible. Is that what the quick Google search said?
No, I just hit keys and made something up.
I would believe that.
That's what we're doing. Yeah. No, I literally did that. I didn't search anything.
I want to know. That's what I'm saying. This is why I asked, 'cause
That's
I'm
great.
like, that sounds like a big number, but now I want to know.
No, just ASDF. Oh,
So I don't know. I do know that this thing can be transmitted through the air, the coronavirus. But I don't know how colds and stuff, like if they also can do that.
Yeah, because it sneezes and stuff.
Many of them can.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to know, like, how contagious.
Well,
is
you're
it?
allowed to look it up. I'm not gonna.
I am looking up right now.
But
But
before we get that,
I'm not able to share that with
I
you.
have a
I would
brand new
betray your
topic.
viewers.